the idea of the Belt and Road. It is intended to bring together the people of the world, and in order to fight against the divisions that occurs within the global economies. And so it is very important that we have such a forum which will bring people together. In fact, the first time to arrive in China was in September 2018 to attend the Africa-China Summit, or the FOCAC. And that visit is also very peculiar to me, simply because that is the day when it was announced that I will be in charge of opening or establishing the office of the African Union to China. I went back, and then I came back in order to open the office late 2018, exactly in November 2018. What strikes me more is the diversity of China. Luckily enough, before the COVID-19, I have at least 1.5 years before the COVID, which I enjoyed visiting many places in China, and specifically Hunan, Hainan, and Henan. And each one of them has its own peculiar environment and cuisine, and the life is really different. The Belt and Road Initiative is not the only mechanism for cooperation between China and Africa. Even before the Belt and Road, we have the FOCAC. The FOCAC is a mechanism which governs the relations or the cooperation between China and Africa. But the Belt and Road added more vision, more resources. I think the most important thing about the Belt and Road, it is meant to be a sort of solidarity between the people, and at the same time to help others. And the help is not a sort of a charity, no, it is a sort of a win-win cooperation between China and the member, all those who joined the Belt and Road. Trade is one of the pillars of the cooperation between China and Africa. It is flourishing, definitely, and it reached more than 200 billion over the last few years. There is a commitment from both sides, China and Africa, in order to increase the volume of trade between the two countries to 300 billion by the year 2030. And here I would like to talk about the composition of trade. We have a problem with the trade that most of the products now we export to China have no value added. And this is an area we are discussing with China in order to see how China could help us, even through the Belt and Road and the other mechanisms, in order to raise the value of our products. I may mention that China has already agreed to a zero tariff for more than 95% of our products, at least for the least developed countries, African least developed countries. But unfortunately, we could not benefit from this to the magnitude which is intended either by ourselves or by China, simply because there are a lot of red tapes. And the red tapes are coming from the non-tariff barriers and the standardization of the products which should come to China from Africa. Here also, we are negotiating with China to see how we can elevate our products in order to be accepted in the Chinese market, to benefit from the zero tariffs, which is already decided by China. In fact, I think this is a fallacy, which is raised by those sides who are not supposed to talk about the debt trap. They are the ones who put Africa in the debt trap. Most of the debt now Africa is suffering from is not from China. The second thing is that when we are dealing with China, at least we are open to talk about what we need. On other sides, we are compelled sometimes to take some debts because we need it badly for other deficits of our economies and so on. But with China, we are dealing only on, the debt is directly used, for instance, the infrastructure, for instance, and they may not yield returns or to achieve their goals immediately, but in the long run, it will definitely be learned and known by the people. So I don't think that this is a justified accusation. The idea of the Belt and Road, it is intended to bring together the people of the world, and in order to fight against the divisions that occurs within the global economies. And so it is very important that we have such a forum which will bring people together, and it is reflected in the number of the countries which signed agreements with China on the Belt and Road. And this is very important for the global economy and activities to fight different problems. Luckily enough, also the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road coincide with the 10th anniversary of the initiation of the Africa Agenda 2063, which was also initiated in 2013. And now within the African Union, we have a very strong coordination and synergy between the Belt and Road and the Africa 2063 agenda. We believe that it will definitely add to our efforts in order to overcome all the difficulties we are having in Africa.